All right. Hey guys, how you doing? Rob Carlson here. I am going to do something special for the channel today, or this episode. I'm going to introduce my main cast for Masters of the Minicomics to all of us, even including me, because really, this is the first time we've ever been together on a Zoom call. This is the first time we ever really talked in this type of forum. So here we go. And I'm going to go through the panel real quick and introduce everybody. But then throughout this, we're going to be talking to everybody individually about what their aspirations and goals are as voice actors and favorite MOTU characters, MOTU experience, why they like helping on the show. I mean, I really want to thank them for everything, for all they do for me, for us as fans. And so here we go here real quick. So everybody kind of gets familiar with who people are. On my screen here, I have Heath Martin. Please say hello.
Hey guys, nice to see
All
you.
right, Heath Martin. He's my deep voice guy. He's my Panthro guy. He's my beast guy. Hey, give me some of that real quick. I want to hear that.
Oh, Skeletor, what do you mean you want Beast Man?
Yes. And then, oh boy, he's a professional beast right there. And then we have a power couple here. Our power couple is Sean Daeley and his fiance. Yes.
Yes, that's correct.
Rachael Chapman.
Crap, I
Please.
forgot my ring.
Yep. Sean is my King Randor, mainly my King Randor guy, and my bunch of my supporting characters, like almost all of them, pretty much. You know,
I play everybody else.
Yeah.
High range characters.
Yeah. But I mean, I've been loving Randor. I mean, he's kind of just like, I mean, it's like the dad you always wanted, right? He's super
That's
strong
right.
and just got that strong left hook. And I loved, I think it was Michael or Paul Dobson's performance in the 2000 X. It's like, Adam, you need to get your act together, son. Kind of, it was just like really muscular and just like,
Sure.
oh, I'm so embarrassed for you. Kind of.
Oh boy.
Man.
That's right. And Tigra's kind of just my own voice as a superhero, a little bit more young and agile, you know, and then one voice that I've really enjoyed doing is King Hiss. Yes.
It's amazing, man. We're going to explore some of that. Rachael is my female main voice. She does it all for me.
Everybody else who's female.
Yeah, we've tapped into her experience level with doing Evelyn, with doing Sorceress, with doing Tila, and as the main characters that we have, which pretty much is most of the main characters in He-Man anyways. But once we get to, she's done Adora as well.
Yes.
And so we haven't had a full-on She-Ra opportunity yet, but maybe that will come in the future. So Rachael, let's hear one of your evil ends. I like to hear that.
Oh. Well then, as long as everyone is safe, I guess there is nothing to worry about.
That's it. That's the one. Yes. Man, it's so amazing when I was able to put that in an episode recently. That voice is you're just talented, man. Thank you so much for your time with us.
It's fun to be evil.
Yeah. And then we have our friend overseas who comes in and gives us some guest spots over a professional actor named Barry Ring. Tell me about yourself, sir. You do our Snout Spout and a couple other guys, right?
I do. I feel a bit intimidated. You got the big deep voice, additional voices, and then like basically all the girl voices. I kind of do whatever's left. Yeah, I've done a couple of the additional voices. I've done Snout Spout as well.
Yes.
Trying to get up here. I go a bit Doug Funny sometimes. It's weird. And I've just shown my age as well.
Hey, cool, man.
Oh, dang, that's cool, man. Yeah. So you've done the professor guy that we had. It was like a Mr. Smart guy.
Yeah.
The weird character that they had in the She-Ra one that I did, the Grizzlor. I thought that was perfect, obviously, because of her accent. You know, we want to take advantage of having that proper British accent, you know.
He was a bit nervous, a bit C-3PO as well, wasn't he?
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
I love that character.
He was
though.
great. We're like, no, I'm a professor.
When I actually watched the video because I was like, oh, these are neat new She-Ra characters, and
don't get too attached.
I know. What in the world? Those dudes got eaten.
I was like, no, he's such a great guy.
That was a pretty dark story for a MOTU comic.
Totally. I did not expect that.
It was like a horror film.
Yeah, it was.
Why is this happening?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and
I didn't want to finish it. So I was like, oh my god.
I know. I couldn't believe it myself.
If I stop
I was
reading
surprised
now,
there wasn't more
all
comments
okay.
about that.
Just read it in reverse.
Everything gets better.
That's right.
Poor Doris just traumatized at that
know.
point.
Don't you love how Filmation just kind of glosses over the decade or so of trauma she must have experienced?
Yeah. Oh boy, he put her through a trial there.
Mm-hmm.
So just as we talk for the next hour or so, I just wanted to again take this opportunity to tell the people who watch the show, about us, about you guys, about what you do. I always talk about this when I'm doing these, when I'm issuing an episode or when I'm talking in an interview. This is, I've done a few interviews with a few MOTU community members out there. So my story is kind of out there. People mostly, if they've watched the channel, they'll know that I'm an Air Force retired guy. I have an aspiration to becoming a voice actor. I quit a big job. Now I'm here trying to do some YouTube stuff as a DIY method to becoming a voice actor. And I have a regular full-time job as a facility manager. So this is what I do in for my kind of hobby to become something more in the future. And for me, taking voice acting lessons with Brian Dobson helps, but what's helping me the most is being exposed to you guys, man. You guys and living up to your capabilities and your ability as voice actors. And I always make sure that I'm talking about that publicly a lot, because it's true. How many times, have you ever seen, it's not really very, very big. I'm the only person that does this in the MOTU community, but even in general on YouTube, there's a few motion graphic channels out there, but bringing, professionals together and trying to make this production value as high as possible, I think it's kind of rare, man. I think it's kind of cool, that we're doing this, and I'm just very appreciative that you guys stuck around this whole time. And it's probably because of the product level, I imagine.
Well, it was very much.
Yeah.
If I may, Rob, it was very much a perfect storm of events. Like, I remember I was starting to be more vocal in the Geek Dad Life toy community as well. And I think you might have seen me do a guest spot for them. And then you're like, oh, hey, is this the right place to promote my narrated mini comics? I was like, go on, sir.
Yes, that's right.
Actors for said mini comics. And
yes.
You're like, are you kidding? Yeah.
And then to cook on to that, I was just like, oh man, I really like these. You think he needs some more female voice actresses? I'd love to be Evelyn someday.
Patience, my pet, patience. And then once he accepted me, I was just like, hey, have you heard of my buddy Heath Martin? He's another Seattle voice talent who's passionate about MOTU. He's like, dude, he already reached out to me. He's on the cat. Like, that done and done. Seal of approval.
Yeah. And then I saw Barry's tag on Twitter, I think it was, voice actor, and I was like, dude, I need some help, man. I want some more voices. I need people on retainer because we have multiple characters that need to be brought to life,
I sort of obviously saw Rob's response and kind of went, voiceover, MOTU, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
What I needed.
Yeah.
And I will say to anyone who's like aspiring to be a voice actor, this kind of situation is very rare where you get to work on a property that you're really passionate about. A lot of voice acting is about kind of original projects, not necessarily the media we grew up with. And it's not about imitations and impersonations, even though a lot of us can do that. Again, it's about original new characters. So being able to return to these stories and get to put on these costumes is it's an honor and a pleasure.
Oh man, dude.
Really
Yeah,
is.
you know, just to speak on that real quick, we're doing this as a tribute, right? So some people, I'm assuming that they're giving me some negative feedback, maybe because it's like, oh, don't touch my product, don't touch me, don't mess up my He-Man. It's my He-Man. Don't, oh, who are you to do that to me? You know, but it's because I love them. It's because we love them. It's because of a tribute. It's because I want to give this to the fans. You have these comics, you have these years and years and years of written material that all these written materials coming onto the big screen, like cartoons such as one of the best cartoons I've ever seen ever, Invincible. Now, Invincible, God, it's an amazing, amazing comic line that they brought into animation. Now, we can't really ever see that with MOTU. It's probably not popularity enough, right? So what about audiobooks? Let's bring these experience to people with audiobooks or visuals, graphic visuals, some audio performance of the product that we all love, that we all have read, that we all have seen since childhood, and make it like it's a new cartoon, man. So I'm just trying to give that to the people. It's get a little bit challenging to have some people come in and listen and give me a chance, but dude, give us a chance. You're going to be pleasantly surprised. So,
and a quick shout out to your production, man. Like, you have a real ear, and it's uncanny how well you place these familiar. Like, I mean, the music made these shows. Let's be honest. Like Shuki Levy's music production for He-Man and She-Ra and Thundercats is one of the reasons why they are so there's such an emotional connection. And you have such a good sense of like when it's a plotting moment, when it's like an evil scheming moment. Like, I love the silly fight between Skeletor and Mumra recently, and how the music backed it up. It was so good.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah.
But
it takes a lot. Yeah.
I was just going back to your point that it really is a case of iron sharpening iron. Like, we all just love this stuff so much, and it's almost a challenge to each other to make each one even better.
Yeah, man, thanks for saying that.
What's so unique about this is I went from the toy to the 82, 83 animation, right? Then kind of backed off for a while. I didn't give the 2000 series any credit for a long time, not until Sean kind of reintroduced it to me. I was like, because that's not my He-Man, right? My He-Man is the 80s He-Man. Or actually, my He-Man is really the Minicomics He-Man, because he was more badass than the cartoon ever was, right? So the Minicomics came along with the toys because they made a promise: we're gonna put comics with every toy, and then they had to, so they had to put something together. So they took a lot of stuff from things I love, a lot of fantasy stuff I love, like Conan the Barbarian, and added it all to this world. And I was like, yeah, this is dope. Like, I love this. I can get on board with this. And then the cartoon was just like the next evolution. As a child, I was like, okay, I like this too. And then I kind of fell away from it for a minute. And the thing that I love about what you're doing here, and I do it because obviously I have a small collection. I love these toys. I love the storylines. I love the people in the stories, right? And I never really read the mini comics, because I tried to keep them in packages and stuff, so I never actually got to the mini comics. So this for me is new storylines for these guys, and that I already love. So I'm having a blast.
Yeah, man, thanks so much. Yeah, that's honestly the same way, man. Of course I knew the mini comics exist, but as a little 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old opening a toy, I'm like,
yeah,
play with my toy, you know. Yeah, and I didn't read a comic book, you know, as a child. I did have the golden books. Now, the golden books, especially the golden books that I have, are literally my golden books. So I have drawings of us at 5 years old, 4 years old, like penciled, and it's like literally us, you know. So I do remember those as a kid, and because they were like bedtime stories, you know, those were actually children's books, you know. So, but the mini comics, that was something that came to me through the mini comic big conglomeration book that I read.
Yeah, it's the same with me. Like, I was the youngest of 3 boys, and so I was in '86, and so I inherited all the vintage He-Man stuff. Like, those were out of package for years before I came along, you know. And so I kind of always loved He-Man, but we go through that stage where you have to pretend to be an adult and not like the things that we like. But until the 2000X He-Man came along, and kudos to any mothers or enabling parents out there, because I was like a moody 15, 16-year-old kid, and my mom knew better, and she's just like, here's a He-Man, here's a Battle Cat, and I was just like, thanks, Mom. It's okay to like these things after all.
I'm a whole grown ass man with a whole collection.
Mm-hmm.
That's so
That's
cool,
what responsible use of disposable income is all about.
That's right. I got to get more gigs so I can get more toys. It's all about the toys, man.
Yeah.
If you put your taxes right, it's character study.
Totally.
That's right.
That's where my entire Masterverse collection is kind of like, okay, well, I will need to look into like a villainous character. Okay, there's my justification for getting Skeletor, sort of, and yeah.
It helps you find the physicality, right? And like, so this is what he looks like when he's plotting, and like it's the
physicality. He's got his hands slightly clawed and all menacing. He's 7 inches tall, but still going to be menacing, and I'm going to justify it on my taxes.
Awesome. Hey, I know many a voice actor who brings figures into the booth to help get them into character. Dang it!
I never thought about that. Yeah, it's a product.
Costumes, props, figures, anything.
Yes. It's professional use.
Exactly.
That's funny.
Office decor, like my Ruby's Master Sword is.
That's pretty sick.
There you go. Yes.
It's really hard finding a full size power sword.
Yeah.
Like everyone I've ever been able to find, because I've been trying to buy one of those for years, is like maybe this big max.
Yeah,
I want one that can hold aloft,
I managed to get She-Ra's one a few years back at Comic-Con, and there was just a guy literally listed like his own battle armor that he'd made for a Comic-Con a couple of years back, and I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. Watching it on eBay, and it was like £300 or something like that, and he just sends me an offer for like $150. I was like, hang on, you're taking half off. The armor is custom made. He's got the boots. He's got the wig and all. I was like, okay. And he's messaged me, oh, would you be interested? I've got the sword as well. Got She-Ra's one. Got the She-Ra costume. I was like, okay, that's 2 costumes for half the price. I've got to do it. But otherwise, I wouldn't have this.
That's
just
so cool.
Pure luck that I spotted this guy's like auction. And he only lived about 10 miles down the road from me. So
wow.
I've got to do it.
Serendipity, man.
Yeah, totally.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Find a decent full-size copy is just a nightmare.
Well, I'd love a chance to talk to each one of you individually here real quick to tell me about your story, what brought you to where you're at, your careers, voice acting, why are you choosing voice acting as a career? And we've talked a little bit about the MOTU experience in your life, but who's your favorite character? Who do you like doing for the show? And is there anything that you have going on that you want to talk about real quick? Heath, let's talk to you first here.
All right. My name's Heath Martin. I've been a voice actor for going on 6 years now. Before that, I was a lifetime R&B singer. Sang my whole life, still do.
Oh wow!
Worked with like Aaliyah, who's passed away. Her label, and that's who I was with for a long time. And
oh my goodness!
I got to a point in music where I was feeling dead artistically inside. You could never quite fit into someone else's box. You always had to be, kind of what they wanted, and it was a lot. And dealing with like shady people and stuff like that, and I was kind of artistically dead. And my wife suggested voice acting to me, and I'd never even given it a second thought before that, honestly. And I grew up loving cartoons. I love animated features. Video games, all of it. I love everything that voice acting is utilized in, but I would never paid any attention to that as a career. And when I started looking into it, I started finding people that were kind of, like my vocal wheelhouse first, like Steve Bloom. And so I sought him out. He was a teacher and he played Wolverine and, Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop. And so he became my first mentor in this business. And then it just kind of snowballed. I started learning everything I could about all the players, figuring out the right ways to do it, how I could actually, in this line of work, I could actually create a trajectory, a career path by doing specific things. In music, it's a crapshoot, like period. Either you throw something against the wall and hopefully it sticks. And if, especially with the internet age, they grab a hold of the music and run with it, then now next thing you know, you're a star. But in voice acting, I can actually predict what my next move needs to be based on what's been done before.
Wow, incredible. So your whole adult life has been freelance, has been entrepreneurial, has been on your own?
I've always held jobs and things like that, things to keep the lights on. I learned in music early on that I had to find something flexible. And so I got in freight forwarding and was able to do that from anywhere in the world. I could do that right here in my booth. I can do it at the beach. It doesn't matter where I am. So that's the type of career that I chose to help pay the bills while I worked on my passions. But I mean, with the right people in place and the kind of the right training and the right setup and the right drive, anyone can do it. You just have to have the drive and the passion to do it. And it has to be about more than being famous or getting a check. And once it becomes that, then you've already lost. But when you're having fun doing it, when you're out here and you're learning how to act, you're doing plays. I mean, I love acting. I'm the kind of guy that would watch the DVD behind the scene featurette before I'd watch the movie, because I want to know how they did it, right? What was going on behind the scenes. I've always been that way. So when I start getting into theater and musical theater and implementing all my other skill sets together, being able to sing on stage and stuff like You're in Town or whatever, it was like a whole new world for me. And I've always been a villain. Awesome. I've always kind of played the villains because I've got that type of a voice. And I love it. I love the villains, man. There's something so juicy about a Sith Lord or just a big bad that just oozes, sinister and evil, and I just love it.
That's so cool, man. Perfect voice for it too. Yeah, it's definitely amazing. Yeah. And MOTU, you mentioned growing up with it, having toys and stuff like that. Now, for what you do for us, you do the beasts and everything like that. Do you have a favorite character that you enjoy doing the most?
I actually really love Man-at-Arms. The reason
yes.
Playing Man-at-Arms is because he's powerful, but he's also fatherly to Adam. So like if He-Man or Adam is doing something and he's like, "Oh, Adam, why would you do something like that?" He's loving, but he's also a badass. And that's perfect for me. I love it.
Yes. I forgot.
I love the Beast too, man. I love Grizzlor. I love Beastman. I love Monkeyan. But the thing, Beastman has always been kind of snivelly, kind of whiny. So with him, especially in the depiction in the 80s cartoons, right?
Sure.
So with him, they can be similar if you're not careful, right? Especially with Monkeyan and Beastman, they're very similar in tone. So with Monkeyan, you do a lot of ape stuff. Sorry, you do a lot of ape stuff, right? So and then a lot of barking and hollering. But with Beastman, it's more like, I don't know if I should even be here. He's
kind of a fool.
He's kind of scary, right? But he's a huge, monstrous. If he actually believed in himself once, he could probably take over Snake Mountain. Let's just be honest.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good observation. Definitely. They explore that a lot in Revelations too, how he's just kind of pushed around a bunch. So,
dude can control dragons.
I know. That's amazing. Thanks Heath for that. Let's go to Sean and
sorry, one thing I have to put this out there. One thing I forgot. You asked favorite character. I don't have a favorite character in this. I love all of them, but my favorite action figure was Stratos. Because when I was little, we couldn't afford action figures, and then when we could get one, all the good ones were sold out. So the only action figure I ever had for a long time was that 82 Stratos.
Oh, and wow!
I have like 12 of him now. I've got probably 7 classics. I've got 2 or 3 versions of the Origins. I've got the Revelations. Yeah, I've got every version they've got of them in triplicate.
Oh wow, incredible! Do you do Mega Constructs or do you do?
Do you see the little Skeletor face?
Oh yeah. Oh, okay, you do Mega Constructs.
All those little guys are Mega Constructs.
Did you do minis?
Yep.
Oh, you did minis as well?
I've got minis right there with the little base stands.
Oh, well, yeah. The minis are the ones that kind of like that. You're like,
no, I don't.
Yeah, the Eternia minis, like these
the Eternia
kind of
minis.
like the cheaty.
There you go. Yeah.
They're sitting on the other, like they would be over here if I was out there.
We only got wave 2 of those over here. We never got wave 1, so we got the Snake Mountain range.
Oh, no. See,
yeah.
I got the original, like the 2-pack, so you could get like the little diorama of Grayskull, and I just kept them in package and kind of arranged appropriately. But it's just like once I had, because they have more paint detail, they have more accessories, and then before they were the retail release, so it's just like 6 and done. Like, you know,
I got a couple of those like loose from like imported from China and that sort of stuff, but they never, like the twin packs never hit the UK. And then we only got wave 2. So it's just like, oh, there's so many characters missing. I never even bothered starting sort of seriously collecting them. I got the odd 1 or 2. So like,
it's so tragic. They were just clogging the shelves here. Like,
yeah,
I know, man. Everywhere.
And they were like $2.99 or some or Target.
Yeah, they're nothing anymore.
Pretty much.
Well, hey, Heath, you got the little statuettes there from, I think they were like Dollar Tree or something like that.
Yeah.
Constructs.
Yeah. Oh, these over here.
I saw those at a toy fair last week, and they were £11 or £12 each, which works out like $18 or something.
Oh my goodness!
Little ones. I got all of those at the dollar store.
Yeah. Exactly.
Again, we never got them over here.
Wow.
Guys that have got them on import are charging, I think it's 10
I even had a buddy
£13.
find some and mail me. A voice actor from Canada knows that I love MOTU and sent me a care package, and it had a bunch of those minis in it. I already had them, but I love them so much. I was like, cool, I'll keep those in the package. Thanks.
They are very cool.
Never know when you need doubles. But
that's where I'm at now, Sean. I'm doubling up on stuff that I want to play with. Is that
because I was saying before, like I already had an established collection, so we all come to this point where like a space danger, so you got to be more selective, and of course prices are rising everywhere, so you got to be selective. But no, it's just been so fun to watch. Heath didn't mention this, but we're both from Washington State in the U.S. And we met at a character workshop in Seattle with a great coach named Everett Oliver, and worked for a lot of animation projects like The Simpsons and things like that. And we both just really resonated with each other. Didn't even know we liked MOTU till years later, but we kind of were just like staying on each other's radar. And then I broadcast my collection. He's like, dude, that's something that I really want to get into. And then a year later, it's just boom. But
I got a problem, guys. I'm sorry.
We all do.
I even almost got frosted.
You dabble from time.
I dabble, but I'm more of a cartoon girl than an action figure girl.
Hey, I'm just glad that she allows it and doesn't judge me for it. So.
That's amazing, dude.
I thought we had a convert, but what is it? A familiar would be just as well. Thank you.
Yeah. So, like, she's an occasional convert. I mean, I got her Snake
nice.
Tila to celebrate her birthday.
Yes. Happy birthday, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was her birthday last week.
Yeah.
So, but I have She-Ra figures. I'm more of a She-Ra fan than I am a He-Man fan. For
Sure.
How dare you like your Target marketed product?
How dare you? How dare She-Ra have cool characters like the Horde? Because I love Hordak and I love
the Horde are really cool bad guys like Montana and but what I also really like about She-Ra is that the ladies who designed her like it was Barbie fighting them because He-Man got way more popular than Barbie, and they're like, how is it the boys' toys are more popular than the girls' toys? This has never happened. So they made She-Ra, and the ladies purposely made her taller than He-Man, and then they purposely in the comics and everything made her more OP because she can not only talk to animals, she can also heal people, and her steed flies, and so
her sword can turn into whatever the plot needs.
That's why I didn't like She-Ra so much.
His sister's like way more powerful, so I'm just gonna go over here.
Well, how do you make someone more powerful than the most powerful person in the universe?
But anyway, so
they're twins, both powerful.
Yeah, equally powerful.
I do like She-Ra a lot more. So, all my toys are She-Ra toys. So when I got to do Adora and there was Grizzler, I was just like, dreams come true.
Well, I remember when we first started dating, like we went to college together, and then kind of we were ships crossing in the night, really. Like she went to Hawaii, I went to Japan to teach English, and then we didn't reconnect for like 8 years, and then I moved back, and then she invited me out to Hawaii, and then like we've been together for ever since, and that was 7 years ago. But pretty early on, I was just like, this is He-Man. This is a very big part of my childhood / identity, and I would like to share this with you. And it was like we watched Secret of the Sword together, like the intro of She-Ra, and she's just, or you can tell it from here. What was your reaction?
He actually started tearing up at the end, and he's like, "Did you really like it?" And I was like, "Where was this when I was 8? Where were you?" Like, you know, the last unicorn. I don't know if anyone's ever seen that.
Oh yeah, of course.
Where Molly Grew sees the unicorn come to her, and she's like, "Why did you come to me at this age when I'm like, you know, when I'm an old maid?" And I kind of felt like that when She-Ra came to me. I was like, "Where were you when I was 4? Where were you when I needed you, She-Ra? Why did you come to me like this when I'm 30? So I got super obsessed afterwards because Sean left. And of course, long distance is hard. We did it for 2 years, like a whole ocean apart. And my way to cope and kind of keep in touch with him was I watch a She-Ra or a He-Man every night before I went to bed. And those little clips at the end, like of like the little moral of the stories, always like kind of get to me. But She-Ra's very empowering. And one of the best episodes I love is The Crown of Knowledge. And the Crown of Knowledge asks She-Ra, in order for her to grab it, it asks, "What do you fear most?" And she looks straight at the crown and she goes, "I fear failure because so many people depend on me." And I just lost it. I was just like, "Oh my God, I'm strong."
Keystone.
I just trying to live by those morals. And I really want to make a book, like a coffee table book of like a screenshot at the end with a little lesson, like the moral today is
actions speak louder than words.
But anyways,
trust should be earned.
That's a really good idea.
Focus.
I'm surprised it hasn't been done yet with all the other Dark Horse comic or books that they have.
That's One to Grow On, or any of the G.I. Joe lessons. All that stuff had like a little lesson at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Well, that was one of the ways they got away with like the 20-minute commercial, right? So was to have some kind of social mores. And of course, Lou Scheimer at Filmation was very like, he wanted to use this as an opportunity to teach social mores, right? To help, like, it wasn't just mindless content. He thought it was important for kids, kind of like a Mr. Rogers type, to be like, help these be good citizens, you know?
That's right. He talks about that in a bunch of documentaries. Yeah. Please continue, Sean. Tell us about your history as a voice actor, and then go into Rachael and how you guys have tried to get her up to speed.
All right. So, well, thank you. So I've been like, I pretty much always wanted to be a voice actor, even before I realized what it was. Before I just wanted to be in a cartoon, right? But then you're like, oh, like, and a lot of voice actors talk about like what was their show or what was their like the thing where we realized, oh, that those are people doing that. And for me, it was He-Man, because here you had like an entire world, a full cast, and then at the end, you'd only have like 5 names listed, right? And so finally, I was like, oh, this limited group is doing multiple characters. And then you start experimenting, right? Like I've always been blessed with a bit of an ear for mimicry and stuff like that. My brother and I used to do Donald Duck when we were very young, like kind of thing, you know.
Wow.
And,
yes. I was totally interested in that because I've tried, man. I can't get it.
I don't know. It's one of those things. It's like, you can't be taught. You're born with it. No, you can try, but
yeah.
But anyway, so I was doing that, and then and I remember like always just loving so many cartoons. I didn't watch live action stuff until far too long, till like I was a preteen. But then it was a lot of like at Saturday Night Live and stand-up comedy, and again imitating what I heard. And I love Daryl Hammond on the whole Celebrity He's Sean Connery. I was a big fan of the show. and again, He-Man was a big thing, and I just love those characters, and I would kind of challenge myself to start learning different ones. Like, it wasn't until my 20s that I tried my hand at Skeletor, you see. And then when I found out that Alan Oppenheimer was Skeletor in Battle Cat in Merman, I was like, oh, how do I adjust that? Like, for example, like you got Skeletor up here, but then Battle Cat's just really growly. It's he kind of gets a little gritty and growl, and then Merman is just really that's just really gurgly on top, like So it kind of challenges you to pick up those voices. And growing up in school, I was a big ham and a class clown, like English, theater, band, like nerd on top of a dork, on top of a geek. Like, so, and now I get paid to use all of these skills. But so yeah, and then I went to college. I studied English and theater and in education. I taught in Japan for a couple of years, studied Japanese and German when I was in school. And it's funny, it's like I feel like a Renaissance man in some ways, just like jack of all trades, master of nothing. But like again, it all comes in, like the comedy, the media analysis, the again, like the sense of humor and the love of language, and just paying attention to how people speak, right? And like the easiest way to do an accent is to understand how the language sounds, right?
German's his favorite accent. That's why he
German
just
is one of my favorites. I mean, we've got ein bisschen of German in the family, and but it just helps again, and I've just always been silly and just love these characters, these larger than life characters, and I love heroes because we all wonder what we could achieve if we had the power to do it, right? If we had the strength, if we had the resolve, if we had the intelligence, right? Or whatever. And so one of the reasons that I like being a collector is that I surround myself with inspiration and aspiration, like these, like whatever that strength and responsibility or goodness that I need that day, I just have to look to a shelf, So, anyways, so I'm kind of rambling. Go ahead and rein me in, Coach.
I totally understand it. Thank you for knowing that. I've been curious about this, man. I really appreciate you sharing that story because again, people, I have not heard any of this before. So for me, that's definitely educational. It's overdue, and I'm happy to hear everyone's story. Rachael, you guys met, obviously, you told that story there. Now, what is your goal with voice acting? Have you started professionally yet, or are you still learning?
I am still learning. It's been things that I need to break through. So I always was in theater. I was always a theater girl. And so I did theater in high school. I got my bachelor's in theater and education because I really love working with kids and teaching kids. But this one, really quick, fun story. I was about to quit theater right then and there that day. I was in the lounge, crying my eyes out because I couldn't get into a show worth the life of me because I kept auditioning for the wrong stuff, like really serious debutante shows. And Sean comes in with a smile on his face and he's like, "Sweetheart, you're a character actress," and kind of grabs my hand. He's like, "Let me show you the wonderful world of children's theater."
Yeah.
And it changed my life because I was about to be a geologist and just like work in a mountain by myself with rocks.
Oh, really?
And so I went into children's theater, loved it, loved the kids. And then I went to Hawaii and got my master's in theater for young audiences. And then I worked professionally as a full-time professional teaching artist for the Honolulu Theater for Youth. And then I had a really cool education director, Dan Kellen II. He's brilliant, and he really broke down voice and how you teach voice acting to kids in a language that kids can easily grasp and communicate. And but it's not like it's high levels. Like we're teaching the kids power, which is volume and the pitch of a word. We're teaching them pace, which is the speed and the length of a word, passion, the emotion of a word. And so then I was really helping kids express their voices. And then Sean and I got together. He's like, wow, this is cool. You do a lot of voice work. And it's like, what? And then he's like, this is what voice acting is. It's like, what? What is this?
And actually backing up a little bit, the first time, like we were friends and kind of like knew each other with that first story she mentioned.
Yes.
But the first time that we were like about each other was like we both sat in on a workshop that Eliza Jane Snyder, she does a lot of the South Park female voices and just been on Disney, like Princess of the Frog, a bunch of other properties. She did a free workshop at our at Western Washington just to teach people about voice acting and answer questions. And like obviously I was the voice acting nerd who like was just like, what demo producers do you recommend? And everyone's like, how do I get an agent? Kind of thing. But anyways, at the end of this thing, she's talking with people individually, and she's just like, does anyone have any like skills that they want to show off or anything like that? And what did you do, honey?
Cluck like a chicken.
No, you do it. She's just like, I can cluck like a chicken.
She's like, I can cluck like a chicken and bow like a goat. So,
and give him a pterodactyl right quick. So that was the first time I was like, hello. But then, like I said,
I bet.
Cut out.
But anyways, like I said, we went our separate ways, maybe for the best, and then we came back many years later, and now we live together and are happily engaged.
So then I was a teaching artist for Tacoma Arts Live, working with kids again, directing lots of shows. So I did a lot of acting in graduate school, but on theater, of course. And then so I directed kids, and that was tough because I was a drama teacher during the pandemic. So I'm teaching kids via Zoom and doing productions on Zoom. And I was like, you know what? We're going to do funny voices and sock puppets because this is where we're at. We have a natural little puppet screen. And so that was what I did. A survival gig is lifeguard because you gotta pay the bills, keep the lights on. So lifeguarding, teaching swim lessons. And right now I'm kind of in between careers. So anyone out there want to hire me for anything, I'm available. But
and why wouldn't you with that voice? But
but my training for voice acting is just going to begin. I'm very, this has given me confidence, but I need the training. And so I'm going to join,
well, thank. So, I didn't mention this yet, but I actually help. I work for an online voice acting school called Global Voice Acting Academy, where I and an amazing cadre of coaches help teach people various aspects of voice acting. We got a lot of free resources as well. We have a non-union rate guide where people who are, one of the pressing or constant issues is figuring out how much jobs should be paid. Right, for voice talent, especially when they're starting out and they might not feel confident asking for hundreds of dollars for a project, even if it's what it should be paid. Right. So we provide that. We provide kind of like comprehensive guidance and support wherever you're at in your career with like home studios and marketing and performance coaching, of course. And so Rachel she's got an in.
I think it's foolish to think anyone's going to be like, I'm Insta famous. Like, no, you have to train. You have to know these things. It's a whole new ball game, a whole new subject. So I'm using the fiance cheat code, of course, because he's got the booth, he's got the equipment. I don't want to buy any of that stuff. So I just got to train and then we'll see where it goes. But it's taken a little bit of confidence because I've been a director for so long and not an actress. And then these MOTUs have made me go, well, maybe I can do this because I'm having a lot of fun and I'm having the most fun I've had in a long time doing this. So maybe I do want to pursue this. So
and just for anyone who's like Rachel, who I think is extremely talented for one thing, is just very modest about it. But I work with talented people all the time who don't realize how good they are. or they what, for whatever reason they think they don't deserve success, right? Well, do your best to be kind and patient to yourself, and confidence is so intrinsic to being successful at what we do, because you need to believe in yourself. You need to believe that you can do this and that you deserve to do it, even if it's just because you want to, right?
And that's the thing. I'm having fun. I'm having fun, and I want to do it because I'm having fun. I love these characters, and this is something that my weird character actress, like, it's like, wait, you mean I can be weird? I can do this kind of crazy voice. I can't go 110. Like,
or if you've ever struggled with having to be realistic with your acting, then character acting might be for you.
Yeah. You can tell Sean and I are walking, living cartoons. It's kind of ridiculous.
That's awesome. Wow, that's really fantastic. Thank you for sharing all that. Wow, incredible. So when do you think your demo ready? Are you months away from that? Years away from that, you think?
A
year?
A year.
I'd say a year would probably be fair.
Wow. Yeah. I think I have that question to myself all the time, man. So my next phase of with Brian is going to be doing some commercial practice for commercials. I don't know, man. They are the professionals, I guess, that tell you when they think your demo ready.
Well, it's a combination. Like you first off, you don't want to put your career trajectory completely in someone else's hands. You need to be your own agent and advocate, right? And you should pay attention to when you disagree with your superiors, mentors, you know what I mean? But at some point, you will reach a stage of confidence in your performance abilities that you and your coach or mentor will agree that you are competent and ready for this, right? And again, you'll pick up on that. You'll notice that you lock in to the copy a lot more quickly, or you make fewer mistakes. You get a compelling read in fewer takes. Your mentor is giving you less feedback, right? Or it's just like, yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's great.
Wow.
Yeah, that's great.
Amazing.
So and you're right, it's different for everybody. I equate it to learning a language or getting like an associate's degree, right? It takes a year or two to learn everything you need to know, right? Like you have to understand the industry or the various industries that use voiceover as a deliverable, we call it, because you're deliver it to people. But anyways,
I understand.
So yeah, there's so much to learn, but you should still, there's something you can do every day, even if it's like literally just watching a cartoon to be inspired.
Right.
Which we're going through Thundercats.
It's always been really true to me that you're demo ready when you stop asking if I'm demo ready. You know when you're demo ready. You just do.
Yeah.
Before I was demo ready, and then when I was demo ready, I was like, oh, I'm demo ready. It happens. It's a natural progression of the training, of the work, of the practice, and everything combined.
Dang, man. So Barry, your experience, please share with us. Like, how did you get to where you're at as a professional?
I like Sean has basically sort of covered a lot of the bases there. It's just kind of it's that sort of just constantly sort of pushing yourself one extra little step a day, whether it's a big step, whether it's a small step, whatever it is. If you want to sort of start going into it, for me, everyone sort of said, "Oh, you've got such a lovely voice." And fun fact, I had my tongue pierced about 20 years ago. A, it hurts like heck getting it done, and B, sometimes your body decides to try and get rid of any foreign objects. So having my tongue pierced, it gradually worked its way forwards. I started developing a lisp, so I actually had to sort of kind of work to get rid of that a little bit. And that's why people say, "Oh, you sound so eloquent." And if, like, in the nicest possible way, where I grew up, the part of London that I'm from, there's lots of dropped T's. It's almost very much like a Dick Van Dyke style Cockney accent. It's really like that. It's if you're after a bottle of water becomes a bottle of water. Very much like that. So it's just focusing on that and just making sure that my T's were there and I was much more understandable without that lisp that I developed. And then, you've got such a good voice. You should start doing radio or something. I was like, well, yeah, because I didn't really get the chance to do it when I was at school because I went to a grammar school, which was basically kind of like Hogwarts without the magic. Like the magic moving pictures, but lots of old dusty books, people that looked like they had the academic gowns on and all this. It was just, it was not a place for creatives. You know, they were churning out lawyers and sort of mathematicians and all that. It wasn't my cup of tea. So I didn't get to do it until my early 20s. And I kind of joined a theatre group and, you know, sort of kind of just expanded from there. And then when everyone said, you should start doing voiceovers, I started looking into it. It's kind of, okay. Because, again, I grew up on He-Man and Brave Star, G.I. Joe, and even like the cartoons. I don't know whether they were shown across the whole of the UK, but we had things like Count Duckula, Danger Mouse. We had all of, and it's the same
Danger
guy.
Mouse.
Like Sean was saying, you sit and watch the end credits, and it's the same 6 guys doing 35 voices. I'm like, wow, you know. Obviously, one of my biggest influences was Billy West. He was Doug. He was
that makes me so happy to hear, Barry.
Exactly, yeah.
Happy, joy.
Oh, go sit on a log. But there's a clip of him from Futurama, and he's literally having a conversation with himself because he's playing Fry. He does Farnsworth. He does Zoidberg, and it's not cut per character. He's literally just having this conversation with himself, and he's just instantly going between. I love sitting watching people go through that transformation and hearing very similar voices. Again, sort of like with He-Man, you had with Alan Oppenheimer. Sorry, I can't speak. Doing Skeletor, Battle Cat, Merman, X amount of background characters, and just having that, it's the same guy, but it's those little tweaks that he put in there. So with my the voiceover work, I kind of started looking into it, and I was like, I don't know where to begin, and just started looking online and just following some of the voiceovers that have really made it, and then just from there, just seeing who's following them and how they're associated. So the GVAA that Sean works for, I follow them. There's various other organizations out there, the Voiceover Network. You've got all sorts of other ones, and they do all these workshops that you can go to, and it's kind of networking and sort of going into the room and having a play with people. You have the script and sort of just having don't just think, okay, I've got to read this like a BBC reporter. You know, I've got to do it like that. Have a play, enjoy it. If you're going to do a silly character, do silly characters. If you've got to try and do something more serious, work that way, but sort of see where you can improve. And just it's a lot of finding the right coach is absolutely important as well, because like the others have said, sort of like you'll know when you're demo ready, when you're not looking to be demo ready. My voice coach, I was working with her for about a year, and she said, "When are we going to do your bloody demo reels?" I completely forgot. I was just doing classes with her, and I just enjoyed doing that and seeing that little development. Because a good coach will send you a recording of your class, and have a look, play back, sit and listen to yourself, see where you've gone wrong, see why you've gone wrong. It's all those little tiny things that people just sit and think, okay, well, you go too cerebral on it sometimes instead of just sitting and listening. Okay, this is why I said the word that way. My tongue was in the wrong position, so I kind of went that instead of that. Little tiny little things like that. It's those movements that you start getting into your head, and they become natural. And I mean, for me, I do a lot of documentaries, and bits and pieces. So I enjoy doing that. And it's the worst part is the documentaries when they're nature documentaries. I grew up watching David Attenborough documentaries and all sorts.
Sure.
I'm sitting there watching the screen, watching the script go by, and both me and the engineer will suddenly go, "Oh, wait, we've got to be working, haven't we?" We're just so enthralled in these documentaries. I love cartoons. I love documentaries.
Awesome.
And then just suddenly going, I'm getting paid to do this. I feel I should pay them. I'm just having such fun doing my job.
And that's incredible.
Like that, and other people are going to enjoy it as well. I don't go in sort of because some people will go into the career thinking, okay, I want to do these characters in this video game or whatever. Do a character like that, great. I mean, if these mini comics do lead to something like career wise, fantastic. But I've met people, because I've been doing voiceovers for 8 or 9 years, and there's one person that always stands out, and she literally said, I want to voice this one character from this one video game, even though that character's been voiced by someone for 6-7 years already. That's just part of this lady's career. She goes in, records a few new lines for this character as part of DLC. That's it. This one person focused her entire career on that. People saying to her, look, just have that. If you want to play that character, great, go for it. But do other things. Again, going back to Billy West, the role he's made the most money for is not anything from Nickelodeon or Comedy Central, anything like that. It's the Red M&M. He has voiced Red M&M for close to 30 years. That has been his main. And the yellow M&M is J.K. Simmons.
Yep.
He's won an absolute ton of Academy. So they'll do the big fun jobs. They'll do, sort of like, occasionally appear on crime drama. Obviously, J.K. Simmons does big award-winning movies, but they'll still go back and do those little, almost bread and butter jobs, because they've got that range to them, and they're so comfortable doing them. They've had to diversify early on, and because they know that they can do those jobs nice and easily, the studio knows that they can do them nice and easily, they'll get them back. And it's that little constant flow of money coming through. It's not groundbreaking much. You're not going to be able to go and buy yourself a mansion somewhere with that sort of money, like straight up. But it's a long, consistent. Voiceovers is a long game, I think the short, abbreviated way of me waffling on.
I'm so glad that you told, like, I get exactly what you're saying with that woman's story, because it's really limiting. I mean, we all have heroes that we're inspired by, like He-Man, Spider-Man, Batman, or whoever. But again, you've got great people already doing those things, and it might be a decade or more before that opening arises, right? And it's, in a lot of, like you were saying, or Phil Lamar said it best, this is an industry of volume if you need to be successful. And you'll see, like, I've talked with a lot of different voice talent where it's just like, we have talked to very famous anime voice actors, and it's just like they will do audiobook work because it can't make a career out of just doing the anime stuff. And I see that a lot. Like, most of the voice actors I work with are strong in 2, 3, 4 areas of voice acting, so that they always have something that they can work on, regardless of what the market rise and fall is.
Like Sean's very good with medical narration.
Well, I got medical family. But anyways, Heath, you were trying to say something, buddy.
Yeah, just to piggyback on both what Sean and Barry were just saying. Back when, after Revelation had come out, and there was rumors that there might be another season, and I wanted Hordak. I wanted to play Hordak in Revelation. So I called my agent, and I said, if you got a line in with Kevin Smith, I at least want to audition for Hordak. This was before I found out that frickin' William Shatner might be playing him, which is just bizarre to me. Sorry. Love William. Love you, Will. But as Hordak, I don't know. But, and I was really just kind of on this. This is something I really wanted, like bucket list type thing. And my agent gave me some advice that I'll never forget, and I've used it ever since. So this was a couple years ago now. He said, don't covet a role. He said, if you covet a role, chances are you'll never get it, and you might piss some people off in the process.
Yeah.
Covet being great at whatever comes your way, because your role, the role that's perfect for you, that you're going to be known for the rest of time, will come to you naturally. It's not going to be something that already exists. It's not going to be something that someone else is already doing. It's not going to, that's not the type of, I'm not a mimic. I don't do those type of things. I don't do Donald Duck voices. I do, my Panthro is basically Michael Jai White, but bigger and older. That's who my.
It works.
And I'm the same character for a guy in a video game with a little twist, and the same character, and I use different aspects of it all around. But don't covet the role. Don't covet being a great actor. Be great at what you do, and then the right roles will just come to you. Like Butcher, I never would have found Butcher. Like that dude. I did this video game called what is it? Shadow Fight Arena. So it's Shadow Fight Part 4. And I got this role for this character called Butcher. who's just this big badass, like basic fight game type dude. A lot of that stuff. But I never would have found that guy if I was specifically looking for certain video games to play. I never heard of Shadow Fight before, but apparently it's a very popular mobile game. I've never played it. I have it on my phone now because I'm on it, right? And I want to play it. Might be a little narcissistic, but whatever. But just leave yourself open to whatever the universe is going to throw at you, because it's going to throw at you more than you can handle anyway. Yeah. And just take what comes, you know?
And Billy,
Rob, your audio's breaking up a little bit.
So, but just to bounce off of everything everyone's saying, like, you know, don't, as you said, don't covet the role, because you
don't have control over getting cast for it.
Usually you get cast in a role you're gonna like so much more, because like I've always wanted that lead character of like, oh, I'm the little girl who got wronged and I just want to help everyone and I'm the lead and I have the best songs. But like, I didn't get that role. I got the bad guy, and she was great. And this was for a show called The Gappers of Fripp, and I was B. Romo, and I was this like crazy love-struck opera singer who had a bunch of goats. And I was like, yes, Rachael Chapman would be a crazy love-struck opera singer with a bunch of goats. Why did I want to have this lead role? This is where it's at. And like, also I was like in Peanuts, and I was like, oh, I really want to be Snoopy so bad. And it's like, oh, I'm Lucy. And when I took that football away, I was like, oh God, I love this role. It's so good to be evil. And so I've just accepted. Like usually you want something, but what you get, like you find you are just so much better for it, and it's so much more fun. And so I'm rambling now, but yeah, being Lucy and getting that football, it's the evilest thing you can do, and it's so good.
And again, very often the characters, like, I mean, I love superheroes. I'd love to play them too, but you have to cast yourself well. Right. You have, like, for example, like, I'm almost 40. A lot of people joke that I sound 17, but I know it's true. But anyway, it's like, I'm never going to be Batman. I might play Spider-Man. I might play Robin. Right. But you have to be, again, you have to be strategic. And so much, one of the reasons we recommend working with a coach or a mentor is you need that objective perspective. Right. Yeah. It's not just the roles you want to play. It's what you can believably play. Right. What do you believably sound like? Right. So again, I don't sound like a 6'3", 250-pound guy, like maybe a 5'10", 180, like agile kid, maybe. But like, so, but again,
that's good.
Actor to thine own self be true.
That's it.
Sorry, I was just asking Barry, you grew up with MOTU as well, yes? Toys, did you do the mini comics? Do you collect? What's your fascination or big interest with Masters of the Universe?
I mean, I started off with the 82 line. Apparently He-Man was officially sort of like released on my birthday.
What?
But even though sort of like most distribution didn't go out until later in the year, but apparently me and He-Man share a birthday. Not his creation and sort of like character design and all this, but actual, you know, out
release
to
date. Yeah.
I don't know how true that is. I've heard rumors. It's kind of it's always been there. With the original toys, I went through like the entire collection except sort of some of the later ones. I never had Randor or Ninja. I had Extender, but I didn't have most of the rest of that wave. So it kind of I feel like I missed out on those ones a little bit. The mini comics, like everyone else, it was kind of like tear open the box, play with the toy. Oh, there's a comic, click through, throw in the toy box. There might be remnants of 2 or 3 of the comics in the bottom of a toy box somewhere. The rest was just thrown out. But I kind of I don't know how controversial it is or not, but I easily went from like the Filmation to New Adventures. A lot of people kind of didn't. Oh, that
it's a guilty pleasure of mine. You're not alone.
I literally bought all the DVD box set the other day. I managed to get it for like
that's just Flash Gordon, man. It's just, I would just rather watch Flash Gordon. That's all. Hey, look, I've got him too. I've got the figure, but I don't. That doesn't mean I liked it.
I managed to. I got myself a vintage one a few months ago. So I've just got the Masterverse one recently.
That's what this one is. I'm a sucker for translucent plastic, man.
Yeah.
Masterverse stuff is looking good. There's a couple of new ones. Oof.
It just gets better and better.
New version of Man at Arms with the ponytail and stuff.
I got that.
I couldn't get that one yet.
Oh yeah, I found it at Target.
Yeah.
We don't get them in stores in the UK anymore. We got the first wave and a half of Masterverse. The Origin stuff we're kind of getting, but it's getting harder and harder. We're relying solely on like collector stores getting them imported.
Oh wow!
The Target, like the New Adventures He-Man, it's what, $20 for you guys. I know some people have seen them as low as $11. There's one collector store in the UK that I've seen. I use him all the time. He's the only one I've seen that's got it. £39. Which is like
$50. Yeah.
Is he a deluxe, Sean?
This one? No. He's like standard. So it's like $25 for most of them.
$25. The deluxe ones are usually about $32.99 or so.
Yeah. I mean, they are actually, you know, if it's a non-exclusive one, I mean, obviously the New Adventure one is exclusive to Target, but the deluxe ones I've paid, it was £40 for the Man at Arms, the one with the ponytail, and like I kind of justified it as like he comes with the mega laser.
Yeah.
Right. No,
he comes with a decent size accessory. I'm waiting for someone to do the was it the Stilt Striders? Someone's got to come with those. And from the new cartoon.
At least no one's like, the only figure I can never find is Modulok. Why?
Oh,
Modulok.
It's a bag of parts.
I hate that damn figure, man. I hate Modulok because I never have the whole thing. It's just bits. So I've got maybe 2 front arms, but no,
But he's modular. You could just keep adding to him.
Me and my brother growing up, we had 3 of Modulok, which just kind of just built.
Oh man,
massive! Oh, it's great.
With the Legos.
Oh wow,
but that's cool. I kind of so going back sort of very quickly. Obviously, I had the original toys. I moved into the New Adventures, and then obviously sort of kind of getting my teens. They all went sort of to cousins, sort of friends' kids, and all this sort of stuff as I kind of grew up and sort of passed them out. And then the 2000X series came out, and that was my Saturday morning guilty pleasure, going out for a couple of drinks sensibly on a Friday night. I must say, but getting up a Saturday morning and that was on, it's kind of like, okay, that really kind of got me back into it. But I'm quite selective with what I collect because I used to collect Star Wars as well, and then when it was a case of okay, it's the same clone trooper in the same box, but this one's got like a slight dirt on his chest armor or wherever. It's like you're just making people buy the same thing time and time again.
Got a new hat, but
it's new hat syndrome. Yeah, at least with like MOTU, sort of you get sort of like some different colors. I mean, obviously behind Heath, I'm looking at the Evil Lynn. It's the same figure as the yellow one, but she's in the 2000X. There's a bit more variety there than just a new hat. So I'm solely collecting just the origins that I like, slowly rebuilding my original collection, but I'm being selective with that one. So I've literally got like 5 or 6 of those, and then just the Masterverse ones. What I'm tend to go for is the comics, like the original UK Star comics, the little Ladybird books, which I don't know if you guys ever got the Ladybird. I know sort of like a lot of collectors are aware of them, but I don't think they ever made it to use. So it's stuff like that, because obviously we got our own unique stories in those comics and the books. Like with you guys, was it the golden books?
Yeah, it's similar. I'm familiar with the Ladybird books. Very similar to like these kind of soft cover children's books. Right? Beautiful artwork on the covers though.
I'm always on the lookout for the comics, like the ones that I think were they DC or Marvel? I
think it was both actually. You've had like Star Comics is an offshoot of Marvel, and I have 2 of the earlier ones, like with Clash of Gods or something like that. And I remember we went to like a little smaller convention in Bellingham, Washington, and this one booth had like 2 of the comics, the DC #1 and the Star Comics #1, and I only got one. Like I was like, give me 5. Let's walk around and then I'll decide. And then it came back and there was only one left. I was like, oh crap, please. And then of course, then you go online and buy it for more. And it's like, one of those things. But I feel for you, Barry. Like, I mean, the distribution has been a bit of a crapshoot in the U.S. I hear some places like Central and Eastern U.S. have much higher supplies and distribution. Like Walmart almost has completely stopped, or having any on-site MOTU stuff. It just didn't sell well. And again, like a lot of people don't have access to Targets or ones nearby, or the stock is different. And ever since like some waves just clog for months and they just, I don't know, it's weird. I mean, there's so many great figures out though. It's unfortunate not everyone who wants them can get them.
I've seen pictures of Targets with like the New Adventures He-Man, and you've got like a whole bay. It's got to be like 15 foot long, and every shelf is just full of them. And other stores have never seen them. Mm-hmm. So one time I managed to get my friend. She actually comes from Michigan, so when she goes back from the UK to go and see her parents, I kind of give her a shopping list. Like, can you get me this? Like, she got me 2 of them. So and she said like in total, including shipping, it was like $30 or something like that. It's like, okay, that's still only like 2/3 of what it would cost me for one over here.
Dang.
Oh wow.
You know, it's crazy. Yeah.
All right, we all got to get Barry's back if we go to the UK.
I was gonna say, I
will send good chocolate and in return for it.
Well, yeah, guys, it's been probably a little bit of time there. I know it's 12 o'clock midnight for you now, Barry. Sorry, and thank you for staying so late with us.
Yeah, no, it's been a pleasure.
I do appreciate you coming and talking to us and letting us get to know you, letting the fans get to know you and the channel, people who watch the channel and stuff. Again, everybody, this is an awesome experience for me. This is, I'm having fun when I don't. When I get to the point of like almost finishing the episode, then I have fun again. But like during the process of making it, it's extremely stressful,
Mm-hmm.
But then once I start seeing like the end product, like that Thundercats thing, man, it was stressful, dude. It was crazy hard. And at about because it took about 9 days of hard work, and then about day 8, I was like, okay, this is sounding pretty amazing, man. I gotta start putting some stuff out for this thing.
We've listened to it like multiple times, and it's just in the comments have said it too. But it's like honestly some of your best work, and it's just so much fun, and it's really been such a pleasure for both of us, and just to be a part of this. Really,
guys, I really appreciate it. But it is getting late. I want to thank everybody. Heath, do you have any comments about what you're doing for the future? Websites, talk about who you are. What do you want people to see? Where are you going to be? And the same thing for everybody. We'll go through the panels here.
Well, all my socials are the same at Heath Martin VO. Real easy. Same as the website, heathmartinvo.com. I did want to say that I really would love to see the Ancient Spirits come back because they were fun to play.
Oh, yeah.
Next volume.
Yeah, bring back some of them. Give me some of them juicy creatures, man. I'm working on a bunch of stuff right now that I can't talk about, so that's no fun.
Awesome.
Just keep your ears open. I know that everyone in this room and everyone listening will probably be watching something in the next few months. I don't know when it comes out, but in the next few months that will have something on it that will have my voice on it.
Wow.
Awesome.
So amazing. And Sean, do you have you mentioned your involvement with coaching and stuff like that? Do you have any websites you want to talk about? Anything?
Yeah. If you want to hire me as a voice actor, you can go to dailyvo.com as in everyday, DAILYVO.com, because nobody who sees my name knows how to spell it. But anyways, so dailyvo.com. And if you want my help to become a voice actor, you can check out globalvoiceacademy.com. So, and I run the membership program over there. So if you want to see a lot of me and get some and I tend to ramble golden nuggets of VO wisdom on occasion. So love to have you around. And that's again, globalvoiceacademy.com.
Yes. And Rachel, you're with him. You'll be with our channel. Is there anything you want to talk about for you individually?
I'm going to begin my training with the Global Voice Acting Academy. If you want to
officially,
Yeah, officially.
All right.
Sale going on, so
that's right. It's Memorial Day sale, so I don't know if it's going to be on while this one is. But keep your. I mean, the membership program is still very affordable coaching, so I highly recommend it.
Sure.
I'm not just the owner; I'm the member as well. But anyways, no, I highly recommend it because again, it's mentorship, it's ongoing guidance and support. Like as you can see, I'm very passionate about voice acting, and I love to meet and help people who are passionate about it too.
So, but going to start my career that way. If you want to get a hold of me,
contact her agent.
Contact my agent right now, and but I'm open and willing to do work, and so
awesome,
I think she's got a good head on her shoulders, and she's heading the right direction. So.
I'm very coachable.
Sure,
she is. She takes direction well.
And Barry, you were on a radio show or something like that. Do you want to talk about any of your side gigs, or what do you got going on?
Oh, there's so many side. I mean, the radio is actually it's hospital radio, so that's something I just do voluntary. It's an absolute joy to do. It's because I was there for about 5 years and then had to take a break during 2020 onwards. But they've now sort of kind of got it back up and running, and it's just speaking to the patients and just playing their songs, just like taking their song requests and getting to know them. It's so rewarding, and it's such a good charity.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and I love doing that. There's like Heath, there's a few projects I can't talk about at the moment. Big old NDAs.
That's awesome.
Good problem to have.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I'm so happy for you guys.
Yeah, you'll hear me sort of like on a few documentaries and sort of all like very boring like IVR bits and pieces. So it's like the on hold messages, sort of. For customer service, press 2, all that nonsense. I as well as that, I do a lot of sort of like just supporting artist work. So like extra work, basically, sort of just to keep myself on set.
Wow.
I do a little bit of theatre and all this sort of stuff, and then sort of I've done like actual sort of acting in front of cameras. Calling it actual acting sounds a bit bad. But
film
on camera.
I've
done camera acting. But yeah, with the like the sporting artist side of things, sort of like it's always good fun, sort of just getting on set and speaking to people and learning from people that way. If people want to sort of kind of do voiceovers and maybe like look at doing like they have no idea where to go with their acting, kind of sort of see about doing that, because you will literally just be a walking prop. But you'll get out onto experience, and it comes down to networking as well. So again, places like the Global Voice Academy and all this sort of stuff, and Voiceover Network, Gravy for the Brain, those are great for voiceovers. But actually, kind of getting to know people in the industry is, even if it's just literally talking to like one of the grips or one of the lighting guys, something like that, just kind of just don't talk to them to annoy them. Just kind of just casual conversation, and it's great because end of the day, everyone's a person. I've had a few jobs purely just from talking to people.
That's amazing. And that's brilliant advice, Barry. Yeah. Brilliant.
That's what it comes down. Just talk to people. With one of these jobs, I was just supposed to be like a drug addict. So I'm just sitting there in the streets, kind of like they really dirtied me up, blackened some of my teeth and that sort of thing. And one of the costume girls kind of saw me come in, but kind of saw me out the corner of her eye and kind of, oh yeah, go get changed. She's clearly having a bad day. So I go in, get changed. I come out. She's not seen the makeup and everything. And I literally stepped out and said, do I make a convincing crackhead? And smiled at her with these blacked out teeth. And she just turned and fell about laughing. She said, oh, thank you so much. I've had such a bad day. And from that, I've had just that one interaction with her that lasted no more than 10 minutes. I've had 2 other jobs. Because people have sort of said, "Oh, he's such a joy to work with. He's so
cool, man.
He wants to learn. He wants to develop.
Yeah.
Be like that. Just absorb as much information as you can, and just network. That's my advice.
Surprised how far you can go with just gratitude and kindness.
You absolutely
how far that will get.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gratitude.
Well, yes, all the socials and all this sort of stuff. I'm Barry Ring Actor on Twitter, Instagram, and other things. You see my wanted poster up in the post office, that sort of
thing. Well, Barry, it's been an absolute pleasure meeting you, man, and Rob.
Likewise.
Yes.
Great to see you guys as usual.
Yeah, Rob, thank you for organising this. This has been so much fun, and I hope that everyone that watches this learns a bit. Doesn't get to see Colette that's been sitting there for an hour behind us.
Superimposed. That none of that is real. None of that is real.
It's a photo of it. It's a photo of a small section of his collection.
Smaller, actually. No.
Yeah. No. He was bragging for all this. He's got everything.
He has become one with his collection.
That's all I really got. Yeah. That's all I really got.
Yeah.
It's still a good collection.
It's not the size
you guys,
of the collection. It's the
yeah, exactly.
Sorry, go ahead. I was saying, just to summarize here, just to say once more, this has been a pleasure. I do plan on keeping you guys around as long as you like to help me. You guys are my masters of the Minicomics. We're masters of the Minicomics collectively. I can't. I'm really. There's nobody else I want involved because of how much we've interacted with each other, how supportive you've been with me, how fast you get back with me, the professionalism and the products that you give me, and all that kind of stuff. And the fact that we're all MOTU fans, that's really ultimately what it boils down to, is that we want to celebrate the genre together. We want to give this product to the fans together, and we want everybody to just experience the joy of reliving this and getting that nostalgic value. That the reason the MOTU community exists is because of nostalgia.
Just stick it in my veins.
Yeah. So we're here. I'm still gonna try to put these out. I don't know the frequency of how fast I can put these out, but it's a lot of work. So as I get better at it, there's more time involved in doing it. So it might end up being a little bit less frequent, but it's there. I'm happy with the frequency as it is right now. I'm a family guy. I have kids and stuff, regular job. So when I get it out there, I promise you, people, everybody involved, they're going to be the best product I possibly can give, and everybody's going to be happy with what it is. And so just some side notes here about me and about how I'm trying to push this direction of the show and all that. I mentioned this earlier off camera, but I have connections with a lot of the people involved in making the contents, for us. Like the writer, Josh Guy, writes the Origin comics right now. I could call him and put him on the phone right now, and Josh might answer. Josh is a friend. I'm going to go to the convention next month on June 11th in Pasadena to hang out with Josh at his table when he's doing signings. We're going to be talking about the show. I'm going to be trying to give out some stickers and maybe some merch to the fans out there who maybe enjoy Masters of the Universe content. So that's coming up soon. Josh is, of course, one of the ones connected with the top people, the top brass of the brand. He's a contracted writer, and he works with the people who are actually Mattel employees, who are people creating these toys, the designers of the toys, the box art guys. All these guys watch the show, man. So when we push this out, I believe them that they enjoy it. But of course, there's a certain line that they can't cross with how much they enjoy it, or how much they talk about it, or how much they engage with me. And I totally respect that. That's fine. That's totally cool. But I'm confident that's going to lead to maybe something big. So I'm going to stay positive. I want to keep it positive with bringing out this product. If anybody tells me to stop, I'll stop. If anybody tells me, I think they would have told me by now. Honestly, I think it's kind of like free advertisement. It's like free,
right.
Fandom. And again, I want to respect everything. Make sure I give you guys credit where credit's deserved. The artists, the credit, the writers, the credit. And this is just a celebration again. So thank you, everybody, for your time. Thank you, all the fans and everybody who watches the show, and everybody who's listening, and anybody who watches this for your time. And we will be back. Maybe we'll do this again in a couple of months to talk about where we're at with our progress in our lives and our careers and the show, and hopefully we'll have some awesome new episodes coming out. Of course, we're going to continue doing the Thundercats stuff. There's 3 more volumes for that. I'm pretty much caught up on Origins, so there's only maybe 1 or 2 Origin comics that I haven't done yet. All the new ones, of course, we'll continue to put those out. I'm going to go back to some Alfredo Alcala in the near future, try to get all those Alfredo Alcala out of the way. There's only a few left. I've almost done all of them. Then I want to do some Larry Houston. Larry Houston did Temple of Darkness. Nice. And a few other ones. Those are all classics from 83, 84 time frame. And then, of course, I want to get some more international ones in there. So, Barry, you mentioned you have some comics. Send me a couple of screenshots of what you got, and then we'll talk about what we can do for the UK. I've already been inquired about those specific. Maybe you have some that people want to see. So we have one more German one getting translated right now from a friend MOTU Cork Origin. He translated the first one for us, and the second one's getting translated as we speak. So, when he sends it in, and I'll send out the castings, and we'll keep on moving forward, man, with this stuff. And I know Snoutspout's in that second one too. So, all right, guys, thanks for your time. Thanks for everything. And we'll talk soon.
Our pleasure, buddy. Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
All right.